I want to thank the grace of heaven and the virtues of our masters as our predecessors that I have this opportunity to conduct this class. The class is basically a repeat of the Dragon document that was done probably 2 years ago or so, and by Lecturer Tai. And so therefore, but I am sort of like doing, yeah, essentially the same thing, but try to maybe, if I can, try to explain it a little bit better. Okay, so hopefully, I won't whatchamacallit, get anything wrong about this document. Okay, so you can see right now the presentation of the document itself. Okay, now um, I didn't do a indent format about this because normally the document by itself is written in an indented format, and so therefore it shows you, the spacing, where the word goes and all that stuff. But the only reason why I didn't do that is make it easier for me to present the document itself. But the actual document is intended, and it's written in a way such that it's, well, of course, it's from top to bottom, of course, because we look at the document from top to bottom, and it's kind of, well, first of all, you need to sort of like understand a little bit about the way we write. Okay, now in Chinese, of course, it's top to bottom, only in the fact that on the top it denotes sort of like heaven, so to speak, and on the bottom is sort of like describes earth. So therefore, heaven and earth. So therefore, heaven's on top and earth's on the bottom. So we write top to bottom. And then in terms of right to left, okay, or left to right, depending on how you look at it. For English, of course, it's left to right, right? You first, right from the beginning on the left, and then you just go down to the right, etc. Okay. Now, in most ancient Chinese, I mean, not ancient Chinese, but ancient civilizations, yes, as even I think the Hindu and the Chinese civilization, etc. I believe they write right to left, which is kind of interesting. Okay, and so therefore, when you look at the population of the world, like probably 89% of the people normally writes it's right-handed, so therefore they write left to right, which makes sense. Okay, and then only about 10% of the population is left-handed. So, technically they can write right to left. Okay, and of course, 1% of the population is approximately is basically ambidextrous. Okay, and so they're ambidextrous. Ambidextrous. So therefore, they basically can write with either hand. Okay, but the point I'm getting is the fact that even though the way we write Chinese or the words in Chinese can technically be written left to right or right to left, it doesn't really matter. Okay, because after all, the words are like it's equivalent to like fonts. Okay, they're the words by itself can be stacked, written either way, left to right, right to left, up and down, etc. Okay, so therefore it depends on how you want to word it. But the whole idea is the fact that we because heaven is on top and earth's on the bottom, so therefore we sort of like have the the highest the highest word, okay, normally would be on the top, and then it's sort of like it's indented a little bit lower for an whatever order that you want to put it for the second like a class of description that we want, and then the third, etc. Okay, so therefore when you look at the document itself, the highest highest word that you have on the top of the page is one that describes God or heaven, etc. Okay, and then the second indent, which is the one indent below, is really can be described as, if you want to mention, like, whether it's saints or Buddhas, etc. And then the third indent, the one below that, from the top, is basically, it could be normal, normal text or words that you want to put. Okay, so therefore that's, the way we, indent the writing. Okay, all right. So anyway, but in terms of the translation of it, basically, the first four words, of course, is 表文成奏. Basically, just means presentation, or you bring about. You're trying to read this record, so therefore it's sort of like presents. Okay, and then it presents the following, so to speak. Okay. The next word basically just means accordingly. Okay, according to, and then the following the descriptions that we will have for the rest of the text. Okay, and basically the first two lines are normally the first two, it's basically the first two. The first line basically talks about the date and time that we have. So therefore, when we, in terms of the red letters we have, basically it just means the fact that, okay, in the solar year, AD, okay, 2024, that's 2024, sorry. And then the year, and then the age. So like, I'll call it the age, because after all, it has something to do with the way that the Chinese calendar looks at, or the lunar calendar looks at times of, whether it's the year or month, date, or time. Okay, and this term here, 甲辰, basically means that's the time based on a 60-year cycle of the lunar or Chinese calendar. Okay, and later on I'll describe it. Basically, it's at the bottom of the picture. But it basically just has to do with, a particular animal. Okay, and a time, and a sort of like a combination of time and how do I say, the yin yang, or the yin and the yang. Okay, and anyway, the point is that once I don't want to go to it in detail, but basically it just talks about what the time, or that the age of this document is at that time. All right, and then of course we have the on the red part, is basically just means whatever month, whatever year, and whatever time. Okay, this time is based on what we call the 12 earthly branches. Okay, and basically it's related to the combination of the branches plus this 10 celestial stems. Okay, again, that's part of the age. Okay, I'll just call it the age. All right. Okay, then of course we have the actual address of this temple. Okay, and basically just talked about New York City, Flushing Town. Okay, the address of the temple, that's the the address of the temple itself, and then talks about the second floor. And then of course we have Happy Buddha Precious Temple. Okay, I just read it as HBPT. Okay, that's Happy Buddha Precious Temple. Okay. Okay. Let's go over some. Okay, and then of course it says, in this temple, basically means the fact that this part of the text is at the end of the address part. Okay, so basically it's written, in fact, that at the beginning of this this paragraph, so to speak. Basically, it just says that in this temple, okay, and then we have respectfully with or append the matriarch and patriarch. Okay, so the patriarch is written here, and the matriarch is written here. Okay, and then basically it talks about the fact that with the introducer and the sponsor, the introducer is written here, and the sponsor is written here. Okay, so basically it's talking about the fact that in the Chinese word ying is basically to introduce, and bao is to, sponsor. Okay, that's the word here. Okay, and then at the end of it, it basically says, devotedly kneel down under. That's this part here. Okay, that's the translation part here. Okay, devote under, and then it goes back to the top of the page, and it says the lotus flower or the altar of God. Okay, that's this part here, 明明上帝莲下. Okay, now it's the lotus flower is equivalent to I guess I'll just call it a platform that God sits, so to speak, and so therefore it's sort of like just to represent the fact that it's like the altar of God. Okay, and then figuratively having said that since the beginning of this cycle. Okay, now this part here basically it just means the fact that, okay, since the beginning of time, now the beginning of, beginning of cycle, this is talking about the 129,600 year cycle. Okay, and basically it's divided into like 12 periods. Okay, 6 in the what's called the yin phase, and 6 called in the yang phase. And basically this talks about a cycle that's like goes through has great deal of calamities and or very disastrous calamity, so to speak, under mankind, because after all, it talks about the opening of temple, heaven, because be able to see heaven, so to speak, the beginning of the earth, so to speak, and also the generation of mankind, so to speak. All right. So anyway, like I said, this talks about the 129 year 129,600 year cycle. Okay, so basically if I have time, because like I said, the cycle is really a course or a class in itself, but anyway, I don't want to really go into that, but it's just so like letting you know the fact that the description of the text basically talks about the cycle. Okay, and then it talks about the fact that it is already, okay, this the ending part, it is already, or Yijing is, that's the translation of it, so to speak. Okay, basically it talks about, okay, and then the next line basically talks about the auspicious time of the 3 Buddhas. Okay.
So yeah, the 3 Buddhas basically, it's Buddhas from the green, red, and white. So therefore, those 3 Buddhas, of course, are, one is the green is Dipankara Buddha, the second is Siddhartha Buddha, and the third is, of course, the Mila Buddha.
Okay, so those are the 3. Okay, and then of course, then continues to basically says that the lives of the people have not received the universal spread. Okay, the lives of the people have not received the universal spreading of heaven's teaching, and unclear about the teachings. Okay, so basically that's what this term describes. Okay, so the fact that we're saying the fact that the people who have not, even though we are in this, I guess you could say, the universal salvation of the 3 realms. Okay, so that's when the Buddhists have existed at this time. So therefore, we we find that a lot of people, or many people, there's a lot of people have not received the universal salvation of heaven's teaching, and also they are unclear about these teachings or does not know about these teachings. So therefore, also, the text then continues by saying this part, which is, well, I'll just add it also to it, but also it says, basically it says the orthodoxy has fallen. Okay, orthodoxy means the fact that it is a deviation of, well, orthodoxy has fallen means that it has a deviation from the norm, okay, or what people has taught or known about the past. Okay, all right, and so therefore it just means the fact that many things are I don't want to say whether like humans have become more or humans have devolved or well, it's definitely has devolved, so to say, in terms of the spirit of our true self. Okay, and so therefore that's what that terms talks about. Okay, the 道通以罪. Okay, and so therefore to this date, okay, so to this date, after the 3,000 years, okay, so therefore it's 至今3000以来已经 okay 对不对？至今3000以年已 okay, so therefore that's he's talking about these the time that has passed from the time of like the first patriarch, okay, from the time of the first patriarch to now is about 3,000 years. So that's why it says it's about 3,000 years. Okay, then it says the fact we have received the heaven's grace and mercy. Okay, so therefore, since that time, we then have received the heaven's grace. Okay, this grace in which that it allows them to be able to eventually know about this true nature or this true teachings. Okay, these are the teachings that I was talking about, the heaven's teaching, and all, and receive, eventually, hopefully, we can receive the Tao. Okay, so therefore, the text continues the fact that it says, genuine consideration of one's being up in the east. Okay, now I notice you notice that therefore there are a lot of commas within the text. Okay, because normally the text doesn't have these commas. Okay, so therefore I punctuate that within the translation to allow me to sort of group these words. Okay, all right. So therefore, the genuine consideration of one's upbringing in the East. Okay, it just means the fact that we have been able to nurture ourselves and be able to so like eventually be given birth within, they call it the East. Okay, but and there's another translation of that, but the whole idea is the fact that because let's see, during the previous class, I don't know, it's one of Kai's classes lectures about the four difficulties in order to receive the the heavens, receive the Tao. Okay, he talks about I think it was the fourth one. It talks about the fact that okay, it has something to do with the Orient or the East. But of course, now that because we are in the universal translation, Chancellor Lin had mentioned the fact that well, technically, it is now anywhere that Tao is available, so to speak. Okay, that that a person has encountered whatever that there are Tao available at that time. Okay, so instead of the East, basically it was really, you know, the text that was written a long time ago. Okay, because after all, this Dongtu basically is talking about, you know, East or China, especially specifically. Okay, so therefore, it just means the fact that, yeah, now it is in the when we are in the universal salvation. Okay, then eldest transmitter Lin had mentioned the fact that, yeah, now, you know, sort of like the holy teacher updated to this fact that it goes, yeah, technically it's anywhere that Tao can be encountered at that time. Okay, so therefore that's the time when, you know, you are receiving the Tao itself. Okay, so let's continue on. Okay, okay, and then it continues by saying, okay, the great and merciful compassion of the matriarch. Okay, this part basically, it just basically states just 祖师, which is just a patriarch or matriarch. Okay, now I translate it as the fact that during that time when the matriarch was still alive, she had, I don't know whether the patriarch had passed away or not, but at that time, she had held a certain meeting or gathering. Okay, and basically, it was you know, when she had great and compassion, mercy, had basically got to this particular. Let's see here, right here. Okay, so basically, it means the fact that, okay, the Zusi, which is the matriarch, it's talking about the matriarch, that she had given a, or held a meeting, I'll put it that way, held a meeting or revive a meeting, okay, at the place called Ba Jun. Okay, now normally it's the term is not found, especially the Ba is not found in this in the dictionary, but because after all, this Ba right here written, okay, because this is the only word that I can use to translate that that Ba, okay, because after all, the word itself is written differently. Okay, it has a earth radical on the left, okay, instead of a hand radical on the right, on the left. Okay, so therefore it talks about the fact that it is a location, so to speak, and Bajin is the it's itself is a location. Okay, right here, that's Bajin. Okay, so this is the location where the matriarch conducted, I believe it was a repentance meeting or class, okay, at that time. All right, and then so like I said, it is really talking about the matriarch that had done that, and then in this time, all living beings, 众生to time, okay, 众生to time, okay, so that basically talks about the fact that all living things are technically, like I said, in trouble, so to speak, or that they are not being saved. That's here. 为的救生 is not being saved. Okay, all right, and so therefore and then it continues by saying the fact that the calamities of fire and water are already in front of us. So that's the term, the last term, sway, and plus the fire, okay, and then the calamities, okay, are already at our doorstep, so to speak, at our doorsteps. Okay, we have, in, you know, it's in front of us, so to speak. Okay, and then thus, so, well, instead of thus, I say so. Okay, we set up this meeting, okay, which is this. Okay, so this part is basically to set up this meeting, okay, and that's the meeting that I was talking about during the matriarch's time when she had set up this meeting. Okay, Okay, yeah, to save the countless sentient beings. Okay, so that's the meeting that she had provided or conducted, and basically, people who basically received had received the Tao can attend this repentance meeting, etc., and so therefore be able to continue on the cultivation process. Okay, and then 晨起吃早胡收，晨起吃早胡收圆圆种子。Okay, so basically this means the fact that it translates as to be together. That's 晨起. Okay, that's the bottom part. Okay, 晨起, to gather in this work of harvesting the destined seeds. Okay, the destined seeds basically means the fact that it is to harvest or gather the people that are, or the destined seeds, means the fact that the people who are I guess there's a term in the Tao that normally talks about the fact that we have people who are still people who are cultivating. Okay, so therefore they had originally was once in heaven, so therefore they get lost in this world, and so therefore now they are have received the Tao. Once you have received, they receive the Tao, can also return back. So these are called the destined seeds. Okay, because there's a term in the Chinese is called 元夫子, 元夫子. So it's equivalent to these destined seeds. Okay, and then 不吃. Okay. Okay. Now it is then in order to do that, basically we need to first have appreciation for all the people that have come before us, to be able to allow us to be able to perform this this ceremony, so to speak. Okay, so therefore it says 不次 means to basically says nothing less than the grace of Emperor Heaven Tang. Okay, that's the Tang in this part, and then he's the founder of the Song dynasty that was after the Xia dynasty. Basically, he's founder because after all, he sort of like war with the last emperor of the Xia dynasty, and so therefore he was able to eliminate the Xia dynasty, okay, so to speak. Okay, and then also Wu, which is King Wu, he's a founder of the Zhou dynasty. Okay, so because after the Shang, basically it became the Zhou. Okay, so therefore he's the person that I guess founded this Zhou dynasty. He was the first emperor. Okay, all right, and then they talk about two other people, but they're also like people who were already who had preceded the Wu and Tang. Okay, so these are the Yao Sun. Okay, so basically it's mentioning the fact that it talks about the great virtues of the King Yao, that's here, and Sun. Okay, and so these are the legendary sage kings before the Xia dynasty. That was like way before, because first it was the Xia, and then the Sang. First it was the Xia dynasty, okay, and then we had the Xia dynasty, and then the Zhou dynasty. Okay, so therefore, basically these are just sort of like I don't know why they put that behind the Tang Wu, okay, Tang Wu itself, but it's talking about the fact that they had because of these great virtues that they have, the Yao and the Sun. Basically, we are so like and the following Wu and Tan, that we are allowed to be able to have these eventual what we call the Tao ceremony. Okay, because after all, this whole document is for receiving the Tao. In order to for you to receive the Tao, you must first have this ceremony to read the document, etc. Okay, and then this part of the wording basically means the fact that it says before the altar of God, kindly accept or record, and the saints respectfully protect the altar or these proceedings. Okay, so therefore, this is when we are talking about, we sort of like write in the names of the people who are eventually receive the Tao, and this is at the end of the line. Okay, so basically, it just means the fact that yes, because of all these people before, and we have this opportunity to be able to conduct the ceremony of this Tao. Okay, and Sana Ansha basically means the fact that kindly accept or record. Okay, that's how I interpret it. Okay, and then of course, Senchi Ji Bi means the Buddhists and saints will respectfully protect the altar or proceedings of this day. Okay, because after all, the normal setup temple has the what's called the Hu Fa Sen, which means the people that are I think it's a tiger deity or a dragon deity. Okay, because yeah, I think it's a tiger and a dragon. Yeah, I believe these are people who sort of like are responsible for protecting this temple. It's just as much as like we have the guardians, the 4 guardians of the temple. Okay, all right. So then it says today or this time or at this time. Okay, we have and then this person. That's the oops. The person that person that's receiving the Tao. Now, if there are more than 2 people, basically you have to say you write a different designation. Basically, it just means the fact that all these people. Okay, it's I think it's translated as all these people. So, but if you have 1 or 2 people, you normally just write the name itself. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, good. All right. Oops, sorry. Okay, all right. Oops. Okay, and then it continues by the document by saying the fact that to see this world and awaken from the maze. Okay, so all right, to see this world, it means to be able to like the best thing to describe it is like when you attended the Dharma class, you have to make 2 vows. Okay, and do you remember what the 2 vows are? Okay, it's emphasize the spiritual versus the mundane. Okay, and then to be able to provide or donate as much as is possible for you based on your condition or your condition. So therefore, this basically is trying to say the fact that when you see through the world, basically, you're talking about the fact that you understand what is the true meaning of life. You understand the fact that you have to do whatever's the important thing is whatever's spiritual, because after all, the mundane stuff is sort of like something that's temporary. Okay, so just as we have a body and then we have our true self, so therefore the true self itself is important because after all, it's everlasting. but the mundane self, or I'll call it mundane self, it's physical. So therefore, it is something that will pass eventually. All right. So, and then awakening from the maze is because of the fact that you have come out of a dream, so to speak, to you realize what is most important. Okay, and the maze is, I call it a maze only because of the fact that, yeah, it is like a puzzle that, a maze or puzzle that you have to go through life. Okay, and so therefore it is something that you have to figure out a solution for this particular maze. Okay, all right, and then the last part basically means to pray. Okay, kanchi, that's this part. Okay, pray to God, or pray to God, pray to God to confer and bestow the righteous way. Okay, the righteous way. Okay, so basically it just means the fact that, yes, we pray that, yeah, heaven can give us this righteous way so that we can cultivate know the way, or learn the way to provide the cultivation that is necessary in order to accomplish the eventual enlightenment. Okay, and then Erdang is sort of like, I translate it as a pause. So it's sort of speak just like a pause. Okay, it's equivalent to like, sort of like a pause. Okay, and then it describes, the text reads as follows. There it goes. Okay, technically there's nothing to say, only offering. I made it simple. It says we don't really have anything more to say, but all I can do is just offer the vegetarian dishes as the presentation to the altar. Okay, and then Ida Sangwen. Okay, Ida Sangwen basically means the fact that, okay, it is to reach the top. Okay, now I call it the top. Okay, it really talks about the fact that when you have the presentation, okay, of these dishes or offerings to this table, hopefully that these will be able to be accepted by and recorded into this ceremony, so to speak. Okay, so therefore that's what I mean by to reach the top. Okay, all right, and then basically you repeat the names that the people that are originally, so like, and today this person. Okay, so basically if you have one person, basically it just means the fact that, okay, you are either a male, a female, I guess you call it a young youth. Okay, but it's young youth male, so to speak, and young youth female. Okay, so therefore it describes, once you write the name down, then of course you can say that, okay, I'll use this part first. Okay, so basically it just means the fact that, okay, you are willingly to donate this merit fee. Okay, in terms of, in this case we have American dollars, only because of the fact that I guess in the U.S. we use American dollars, but if you had done the ceremony in a different location or whatever, they would have different equivalent dollar amounts. Okay, that's all I can say. Equivalent dollar amounts. Okay, and then whatever is this part. Okay, these two terms, whatever, and then Yuanzhen, it really means the fact that, okay, I wrote it as full amount, but it's really not translated as full amount. Basically, it just means the fact that, when you write the numbers in Chinese, the way we write checks is different from the way like in US, because after all, in Chinese, when they write checks, they have different wording for the number the numbers, the amount. Like normally, like you have 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, well, they have designated words for those 1, 2, 3. Okay, up to 10. Okay, and so therefore, that's what I mean by the full amount. Because after all, it's easy to sort of like just write it in English. Okay, but in Chinese, they have to write it differently to be able to protect or to designate the correct amount, so to speak. Okay, all right, and then the last part of the translation is basically, oh, here you go, yeah. Foolish disciple, okay. Basically, that's this part. You're okay. Now, it basically just means the fact that, when you have I call it disciple because after all, they're talking about the two people that are doing the wording of these two people written here with the circles, the zeros, so to speak. Yeah, that's basically the patriarch's name and the matriarch's name. Okay, so basically they're just saying that, oh, okay, they said foolish only because of the fact that they're sort of like, just trying to, not the fact that they are foolish, but rather the fact that, yes, they are just sort of like, I don't want to belittle themselves, but the fact that just to acknowledge the fact that, yes, these are, that even though they're still learning, or they haven't been enlightened about the Tao yet, because after all, they are still humans. So therefore, they're still trying to learn about the Tao. So that's the reason why they say call it foolish. Okay, and then 率众等夫妇百寇 basically it just means the fact that, okay, foolishly lead a group to lie prostrate, okay, with 100 bows. Okay, that's the okay. So 率众等百夫率众等夫 okay, okay. So basically, it just means lead the group lying prostrate to do the 100 bows, which means is this. Now, of course, we don't do 100 bows after the ceremony. Okay, so basically, it just means the fact that this whole phrase of the basically just means the fact that, yes, we sort of like are being very humble, and so therefore we want the patriarch and matriarch. We want to be able to eventually do 100 bows because of our humility, so to speak. Okay, so therefore, this is the gist of the text. Okay, and so therefore now I want to get a little bit involved with the what's called these. Well, okay, I need to make it smaller. Okay, yeah, you probably can see it right now. Okay, okay, so basically this is the the cycle of time, or the 60-year cycle. Okay, and when in 2024 we are at the okay, all right, so okay, this one, that's 21, and again 41, and also again, oh, here 51. Okay, so therefore now you have in 52 basically, sorry, 52 basically you have Yi Mao. Okay, so that's not the correct year. And then you have okay, well, anyway, the whole idea is the fact that it starts out with 1, first of all. That's the one at the top. So it's 甲字. Okay, 甲字. Oh, it starts with this year. Okay, and then basically it'll just go down like the numbering that you have. Okay, so therefore that comes down to the 60. Okay, now I believe we are in the Oh yeah, here it is. That's right. Sorry. Okay, 41. Number 41. Okay, that's the inner circle, the purple circle. Basically, in 41, we are in the 41st year of the 60-year cycle, and that's the ZhiShan that you see right here. Okay, I can't highlight it for some reason. Okay, ZhiShan. So basically, that's the because after all, we are in the dragon year, I believe. Okay, and so therefore, so like the whole 12 years, 12 animals basically are sort of like will go back to the, go back, sort of like rotates, so to speak. Not rotates, but continues on, until you have 60 of them. Okay, so therefore it comes down to about 12. Okay, so therefore in the first one, it's the rat. Okay, so you have the rat again on 13th, and then a rat on 25, and a rat on 37, and rat on 49. Okay, so therefore there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, total of 5. Okay, 5 cycles. Okay, so therefore now that has to do with also it's related to what's called the 10 earthly, 12 stems, and 10 earthly, 10 celestial, okay, or heavenly stems. Basically, it's related to what the 5 forms, the earth, fire, water, earth, fire, water, metal. I guess they'll call it metal. It's really ore, and wood. Okay, so therefore these basically are the 5 elements, or I'll call it elements, that basically is related to this 5 forms. And basically, they are a combination of these things. Okay, so that's why we get a total of 60 instead of 5. But the problem is the fact that when these 5 forms, they also have what's called, it's also unfortunately related to what's called the yin and yang. Okay, so therefore you have so you basically have 10. Okay, no, 5 times 12. Okay, so these are the 5 forms, but the problem is that in fact it has also yin yang aspects of it. So therefore, like when you have like the what is it, the in terms of the yin and yang aspect of it, okay, in the earth form, basically it occurs 4 times, 2 yin and 2 yang. And then the rest basically only has 2 times, which is 1 yin and 1 yang. Okay, so again, like I said, it's sort of like it's complicated, but anyway, the whole idea is the fact that you have these the cycles that we talked about at the first time. Okay, that's where the ZhiShan comes in. This ZhiShan comes in. Okay, and let's see. I think that covers about all. I mean, the whole idea of the cycle, okay, that I mentioned about at the beginning, the cycle, okay, it's the 129-year, 129,600 year cycle. Basically, it has to do with also again, it's also divided into like 12 periods. Okay, and then we are in sort of like the beginning, the end of the 5th, I mean the end of the 6th, and the beginning of the, let's see, 子丑寅卯午未. Oh, the beginning, the middle of the Wu basically means the fact that it's sort of like after 6, 子丑寅卯子未. Okay, yeah, the 5th and the 6th. Okay, the beginning, the end of the 5th and going into the 6th. Okay, is that correct? Okay, and basically that's the period that we're in. So therefore, in the white period, because after all, in the previous period had includes the red, green, and the red, and then in the white period, it's really a whole period. So that's the white period, and so therefore that's when we, I believe that's the Wei period, and so therefore that's sort of like I don't know, the the flourishing of this universal salvation of the three realms. Okay, all right, and then I guess that covers it. If I said anything wrong, I hope that the transmitters and the lecturers will be able to provide some guidance for me, and I hope that if I said anything improper, hopefully the Buddhas and saints will forgive me. Thank you very much.